Hey guys, Todd Vandermeid back here for Freedom Steel. Yep, I'm out in the field after being at the oral arguments today for the Seventh Circuit Court of Appeals in our case. As feared, the motions panel of Judge Easterbrook, Judge Wood, and Judge Brennan were the panel assigned to this. Seemed like a stacked deck from the get-go. So some real thoughts. The state is trying to relitigate the Heller decision as if it never happened, and they're trying to completely ignore the Bruin decision. They're completely trying to rewrite the test on the Second Amendment, that it's only firearms that are actually used in self-defense. We've talked about that before. But Judge Easterbrook was his typical swarmy self. He was sitting up there kind of just sanctimoniously with a smug little smirk on his face, and he did not say much or ask many questions during the state's presentation. Instead, he just leapt into a full-throttled attack on our side of the issue, and he got overly hung up on this thing about machine guns. And if they could ban machine guns, i.e. M16s or Tommy guns, therefore, why? How does that stand? And the whole concept was argued around that because that ban happened relatively quickly after those firearms were brought to the civilian market, that because of that, and he got it wrong. And they're not banned. They were regulated by the federal government. There has been a cap placed on them with the Hughes Amendment in 1986, but they were not banned. And there are 30-some states today that sit there and allow for the private possession of fully automatic firearms that are registered on the NFA. That said, it was Justice Wood and Justice Easterbrook just would not let go. Justice Wood is all tore up about the concept of a popularity contest, that if there's X number of guns, but then they're on the market for so long and it gets popular and there are more of those guns, and they were just making a circular argument. And to me, Judge Easterbrook got a hold of this bone like a dog, and he was not letting go of it. And unless somebody could sit there and just put down his contention that because they banned firearms right away and that ban was okay, that why shouldn't this ban be okay just because the test of time has gone on? So Justice Brennan, very interesting. He sat there and made a question of the state, what's your best analogy? And the best analogy that the state had was about gunpowder back in 1791 and the fire codes and that kind of stuff. And he kind of pushed back on that, but that was their answer. Their answer was it was to save firemen from these egregious types of explosions and fires, and therefore their gun ban was designed to save and protect law enforcement, and that was their analogy. I think the panel tilts against us, but Justice Easterbrook certainly seemed to be struggling on the outside with how they have to reconcile this. My comment is they know what they have to do. They know what they are compelled to do by Heller and by the New York case, but the question is, how are they going to try to wiggle out of that? And if it comes down against us, I hope they write the most absurd opinion that they can, just like the state wrote the most absurd law that they could, that I think makes it easier on us to defeat ultimately at the court. But I think that it'll probably go against us. The question is how quickly. If they're going to rule against us, then let's do it quickly so we can get on the calendar for the fall conference and be on the docket for the Supreme Court as soon as possible. But I'll go into more in-depth when I get back to the house. I'm out at the SADC fundraiser here at Maxon's tonight. So if you see this, there's still time to buy a ticket and come on out. Or tomorrow night, we have a fundraiser out at the Aurora Sportsman's Club with Chuck Michelle, our lead attorney for the FFL case, who's also been instrumental in the California litigation with Duncan, Rhodey, Rupp, and a number of others. The marketing case that was just argued this week is their case. So, guys, that's the long and the short, down and dirty. Bad panel from the outset. It didn't go as rough as I thought, but the fact is they weren't going to let our side get a word in edgewise because they're just smarter than everybody else. They had a pre-ordained concept that they wanted to argue about, forget everything else, and that's where it is. So we'll go longer and deeper into this, possibly tomorrow after I get back to the homestead. But thanks for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, copy, share, paste this link in your social media. And as always, frag out.